Words, start over. If you need to apologize to some people, apologize. Apologize to yourself. Forgive yourself because you were created for goodness. You were created to be your best brand possible. And here's your inspirational thought. We all have a foundation. And just like with any home, sometimes the foundation get cracks in it. One way to repair those cracks is to give forgiveness and be a forgiver. Like Mr. Tate said, give forgiveness and be a forgiver. So whether it's yourself, and sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself, because we tend to hold ourselves to a very high standard. So we're harder on ourselves, but you are worthy of that forgiveness. Mr. Tate, you have something you want to say?
I was just thinking on something that God has been dealing with me for a while. One of my little last statements is that, we all have three spirits within us. We have the spirit of God, the spirit of Satan, and the spirit of man. Satan, he is very, very easy to defeat. For the simple fact is, God, he takes care of Satan. He said, resist the devil and he'll flee from you. He also said that stand still and be patient and he'll make your enemies your footstool. Or do good to those that despitefully use you. It's like dumping hot coals upon that person's head. But the only enemy we as our own individuals have to fight is ourself. Once we put ourself under subjection, which is the spirit of man, which is self-preservation, which is, I'm not going to do this, or I wish a person would do this to me, or any of those characters. I'm not supposed to apologize to them because they need to apologize to me. Any of those characteristics, you need to put them under subjection. I see the music is on, y'all, so I'm just saying the biggest enemy you have to fight is yourself. And you need to address and take a look at that man in the mirror and fight that man in the mirror so that you may be able to be your best brand that it can be.
Thank you, Mr. Tate. That was really a very good point. As you were talking, and I know we were in our inspirational piece of the podcast, and that still ties to that inspiration. You inspired me to go back and revisit some things that I know that I have done. So thank you for sharing and reminding us that we can defeat the enemy because God has already placed inside of us everything we need to be successful. So that's why it's important of who and what you plug into. Make sure you plug into the right people, that you surround yourself with the right connections that bring life to you and not always drain you.
And don't be held hostage to no one like I'm being held hostage to keep talking. Ouch.
I think those gunshots.
Ouch.
Being fired. But I just like to say, Mr. Tate, thank you so much for coming back and be a part of the Tea Time with Tan podcast. We know you are the executive producer, and that's the one who finances everything. And I think that we have an announcement that we need to make as we close.
I do everything for you, my love. Oh, that wasn't it?
No, that wasn't it.
I work every day hard for you, my love.
Okay.
No?
Be careful because you may find yourself having to go back and apologize or something.
Okay.
No. Actually, Mr. Tate is going to be launching his very own podcast. It's going to be coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm excited for that.
It's going to be spirit-led and gospel-fed. So get ready. Put on your seatbelt. Put on your helmet just in case the road get bumpy and the rocks get to flying and hit you in the head. You'll have protection. But I tell you one thing. As long as I follow God and you follow me, we will succeed together. And that's the way it'll be.
All right, Mr. Tate, thank you for those closing words. You will have to pay a fee for that commercial right there. But we're going to close today, and I just want to remind everyone that all days are good and some are just better. Until the next time, we'll talk soon. Episode 4 is coming real soon regarding silent brand killers. Talk to you later.